Just a few days left before the 2022 midterm elections. What's the very latest on Azusa's mayoral race? Coming up next on Foothill Community Network. Thanks for tuning in to Foothill Community Network, your first stop for news and notes from Altadena to Glendora, here in the San Gabriel Valley. I'm your host, Mark Caro. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Okay, let's get started. First, let's get the disclaimer out of the way. Incumbents always have the monumental advantage of being able to take credit for accomplishments which are almost impossible to confirm just how much of their input led to the success of the project. After all, what campaign manager worth his or her weight in salt wouldn't employ embellishment of accomplishments as part of their campaign strategy? So we'll try to use comparisons that will put each candidate on as much equal footing as possible. So, on how each views the economy, perusing through Robert's website, what almost jumps off the page are the use of words like raised, secured, as opposed to the more popular phrase revenues generated through, meaning Robert appears to look to outside resources to stabilize the city coffer, such as government aids, a la the American Recovery Act, grants, etc., any monies that are made available to cities through bigger government entities such as state and federal. In addition to tax increases such as Measure Z, and I also think there was a utility tax added for installation of the smart meters that helped the city coffer. And all of this, Robert keeps business development in his mix as well. In his list of accomplishments on his website, which are around 19 or 20 bullet points, there are hardly any mention of specifics on how his economic plan would cultivate revenues through new business development. As for Jonny, after review of his website, he seems to be more focused on business development as a first step in building the city coffer. He speaks to such ideas as offering incentives to small businesses such as grants, utility discounts, and access to other city resources. Jonny also expresses concerns about the lack of development progress on the south side of Azusa, pointing to downtown, Edgewood, and the lack of upkeep on vacant properties. He speaks to having development be scaled to the needs of the community to make construction costs more affordable and rents more affordable to the community. What is absent in Jonny's plan is how he plans to overcome the numbers big retail isn't satisfied or impressed with Azusa's potential to make a profit. The poverty rate is far too high, and the slumping economy risk analysis is screaming a no-go. So what's his plan to overcome that? City councils over the past 20 years haven't been able to overcome or solve that dilemma. As for the homeless situation, they both, Robert and Jonny, seem to be pulling from the same resource pools on this issue. I didn't see any real standout differences in ideas, and because it is such a complex issue, we'll just say both see it as a priority and something they need to take seriously in addressing. Finally, let's look at each of the candidates' leadership qualities and experiences. Robert's a well-known member of the Azusa community. In his first term as councilman, much like Councilman Mendez and Beckwith, he was appointed, not elected. During his first 15 years on the council, he seems to have benefited under the wise counsel and tutelage of former Mayor Joe Rocha and acclimated the role of councilman and now mayor. But this election has now become about how that experience has translated to the benefit of the residents of Azusa. Again, if you look at Robert's website, you'll notice, much like former Mayor Joe Rocha, he has put a lot and very much a lot of emphasis on service and maintaining the historic and cultural perseverance of Azusa, and much less emphasis on economic business development of the city. Also, like Joe Rocha, he supports programs that assist and honor U.S. veterans and supports local youth sports programs. Jonny, on the other hand, is well-educated, a small business owner whose public service has been primarily in the counsel and mentorship of college students at Azusa Pacific University. And if you look at his website, he has some really great ideas on how to build a robust, economically sound business, revenue-driven Azusa economically. And he also checks boxes on inclusion, green space, and eco-management. And he also seeks to help lower-income residents have access to affordable housing. The one spoke in his platform that I think is worth special mention is the concern about political accountability. This quote comes directly from his website. No political royalties. This includes 12-year term limits, limiting campaign contributions from anyone with an active contract with the city, example Athens, towing companies, developers, and promoting a district system in which geographical representation is more equitable, limiting mayoral positions by rotating it among the city council. So there's a lot to unpack there. First, the campaign contributions from city vendors. He makes a great point here, right? It does seem like the vendor of the city should be prevented from help funding the campaign of the people making decisions on thumbs up or thumbs down on their contract with the city. That seems like an obvious and very good point of concern Jonny raises here. I definitely see an episode in the future to address this very controversial issue. Also, this has been mentioned as a concern by other candidates in this and past forums. Next, the term limits. This is a very popular concept adopted by numerous cities in the state. Is another great point Jonny raises here and highlights that Jonny is not looking to be a career-long politician or a member of the city council, but looking to offer his talents in a true public service role for a limited length of time. So finally, the voting districts. This has already been addressed and decided in a resolution passed by the city council back in March, moving to transition from an at-large to district-based city council election. I hope this comparison has been helpful. I wish both good luck, and at the conclusion of the election, hope both of them can come together and find middle ground in working together for the future of Azusa. So that's it. We're wrapping it up. We'll be back on Tuesday, November 8th to bring live updates on the results of the election. So until next time, take care. So long, everyone.